How might the vegan ethic lead us to rethink our modes of transportation?
We have a situation where, I mean, here in the UK, I mean, the numbers are far greater in the USA because there are more roads, more vehicles on the roads over there, obviously. But in the UK, we have a situation every year where it's estimated that at least 30 million birds are killed on our roads by vehicles. It's something like 100,000 foxes and 50,000 badgers, and it's tens of thousands of deers as well, and so on and so on. There's a huge number of other animals that are killed on our roads. And to me, that's once again very much a big issue. That is not an acceptable situation. What you've got to remember is we drove those roads through the territories of other animals. There's this famous meme, or kind of, I think it's famous to me, where there's a picture of a deer crossing a road in front of a car. And there's a question that says, is the deer crossing the road or is the road crossing the forest? And the answer is, well, the road's crossing the forest. We drove those roads through their territory. And now we're mowing those animals down with these high-speed metal objects, aren't we? And it can't be right that happens. That is something that, as vegans, we're kind of duty-bound to try to do something about, to want to do something about. And I appreciate it's a difficult situation. The use of the motor car is so bound up in everybody's lives. And I think it's actually harder and more difficult to not use a car, to not use a vehicle in modern life than it is to actually abstain from consuming animal products. But it is a situation we have to do something about. It's, in a sense, a systemic problem. We have a system of transport that's highly lethal to other animals, and mainly free living beings. And this applies to aircraft as well. I mean, there's a huge problem with aircraft in terms of their contribution to the climate crisis, of course. And that in itself is a reason for vegans to do their utmost to avoid flying. As well, because of course the main victims, once again, of the climate crisis are our fellow animals. Yes, humans are increasingly becoming victims of climate crisis, particularly people in poorer countries. But already billions of our fellow animals have lost their lives because of the climate crisis. Look at the forest fires and the billions of animals killed by those, for instance, and that's just one example. But also planes have direct impacts. Remember the film Sully, I think it was, the guy that landed the aircraft on the Hudson. And there's a film about it that he very skillfully, saved the lives of all the passengers on this jet. I think it may have been a Boeing. After the everything failed on the plane, landed it on the Hudson River. But what caused the engines to fail on the plane was that geese. It was a bird strike. Geese flew into the engines, but nothing said about that. On the film, it's wonderful. Oh, you saved the lives of all these humans. But what about the geese that died because these humans have got this metal object hurtling through their territory, the territory of birds? Nothing was said about that. The reason why it happened was that all these birds were slaughtered, were killed, were sucked into the engines. That's a problem as well. We can't ignore that. We can't say that, oh, that's nothing to do with us. That's everything to do. It's everything to do with us to try to do something about that. And I think that under what I would call an animal liberation society, in other words, if we'd created a situation where vegans were predominant, where we were the people that were in charge of things, so to speak, then it would be vital that we tackle these issues. I mean, the stuff we can do now, I say that campaigning for better public transport, encouraging people to use public transport instead of using cars, for instance. Once again, I'd say that's an animal liberation issue because it's to do with preventing other animals being killed. You see, and also, I would advocate for very, very strict speed limits. I'd say we need a 30 mile an hour speed limit everywhere and 20 miles an hour in built up areas and along country lanes. Because if everyone were to drive more slowly, that would spare It wouldn't just spare other animals; it would spare a lot of humans from being killed on the roads as well. And why does everyone want to go so fast? What is this? What's the problem? Why does everyone want to rush around everywhere? And I don't think it make a massive amount of difference if we had lower speed limits at all. I think it would just mean it took a bit longer to get places, took a bit longer to have things delivered. But I think that it would be worth it in terms of the lives that were spared by that.